Hey, everybody. We are back. It's another Wednesday night at 8 p.m. on the Relationship Gumbo live edition. This is an audio and a video podcast. So I'll give you some preliminary housekeeping instructions in a minute. But when you get here, please share and invite. That's how you pay me. Share and invite. And I'm going to take about 30 seconds to make sure everything is going to where it needs to go. And then I'll be right back. So stay tuned.
Okay, everybody wants good love, that's true, I know. Derrick Jones about to break it down with the Relationship Gumbo. Welcome to the podcast. Ain't no doubt we all need this, ayy, cause better relationships need better ingredients, ayy. So if you want better relations, it's about communication, finding love, staying together. We all wanna make it better, yeah. Derrick Jones the host, your relationship coach. Thank you all for tuning in. Relationship Gumbo, ayy.
All right, guys, tonight is all about self-care. You see my background, this is my self-care background right here. so we're gonna relax, relate, and release tonight. We're gonna get it in. I have a extra special guest tonight. And if you don't know by the flyer, you're gonna know by the name, but I'm gonna say that when we go into the podcast section. So once again, share and invite. This is an important show, not just for you, but for your friends and family, especially because, you know, we're in this kind of pseudo kind of COVID situation and a lot of people are dealing with things. And it's very important to kind of just take a break and kind of chill out. So if you know somebody that needs to chill out, you need to share, tag them, you know, send a carrier pigeon, do something. We need them on here. So I see people coming in. So if you're here for the first time, this is how the show goes. Like I said, this is a video and an audio podcast. So the audio portion, I will pause for 3 seconds. We'll start the audio portion. And then at the end, I'll pause for another 3 seconds. And if we have time, then you can, we'll kind of ask a couple of questions on the end. But I think we're going to get a lot of your questions answered throughout the show. So without further ado, we're going to start the podcast portion. And once again, share and invite. So stand by. And welcome to another episode of the Relationship Gumbo podcast. My name is Derrick Jones and I am your host. I am a certified life coach, an engineer, a strategist, and a mental health advocate. And a lot of times, everything that I talk about, it just kind of goes together. So today we're going to talk about, in the title, you know, I made the title a little funny, but it's very impactful. You know, why are you treating your self-care like a side piece? And a lot of times, including myself, this show is for me too, guys. Okay, we don't treat our self-care like the main, right? We don't give it the importance that it needs to. We kind of put it to the side and we go about our lives and not realizing that it's detrimental to our mental and physical health. So I have my guest tonight, Miss Ursula. Let me tell you about her, because guys who come on here every week. This is Spin City Ers, E-R-S. She's not, you'll notice she's not in the comments tonight, right? That's because she's on the show, guys. We're excited to have her here. She's a friend of the show. She's one of our biggest supporters here, and we want to support her tonight. So we want to make sure that we give her, you know, all the shares, all the likes. We're going to get you her contact information so that you can follow her. And she's going to tell you a little bit more about herself because she can do it better than I can. So give me about a second. We're going to get her up here, and I'm going to let her tell a little bit about her and what she does. So hold on. Welcome.
Hello, Derrick. How are you?
I'm good. Tell everybody all about you and what you do.
All right. My name is Ursula. I'm located in Atlanta, and by profession, I'm in the dental field. But I have a newfound mind shift. So now I have gone through a self-care advocacy, and so I'm a self-care connoisseur.
And we need more people to do that, because sometimes we just don't know what to do, how to think. And so we need that. A lot of people take that for granted. So you are a self-care advocate connoisseur, and you also have a brand new podcast that we should all be excited about called, and I'm gonna let you talk about it.
Here we go. Black girls getting their shift together.
And I'm gonna put this little graphic up for the video users so they can actually see it a little bigger. And if you want to screenshot it, you can, but that's the name of her brand and her podcast. I think I have something sitting in the middle of it. That's my bad. But Black Girls Getting Their Shift Together. And you guys need to follow that page. It's a lot of good stuff on that page. And all right, we're back. So tell us, first and foremost, we're going to talk about self-care, but tell us what's your inspiration for even starting that brand and that podcast.
All right. Well, I was navigating through life, just navigating. And I was pretty much walking around with my eyes wide shut. And I got to a point where I was tired of being sick and tired. I was having the same repetitive relationships, whether if it was professional, dating, family. And so it's so funny. I was actually at the doctor's for something else. And one of the ladies said, well, there is behavioral health. Why don't you try it? So that's how I entered into the therapy world. And I went through therapy, and it was a life changer. And I totally had a total mind shift. Mm-hmm. And now I'm walking around with my eyes wide open. And I have clarity now. And life is better. So I encourage anyone and everyone, male, female, black, white, whoever, go to therapy. And people think, going to therapy, you go when something is wrong, but you also can go for a checkup, a maintenance check. It all helps.
Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, the listeners and the video viewers, therapy. And so I'm going to not do a tangent, but I'm gonna correlate this to what we do here on this show about relationships, right? We're always talking about relationships, how we get along, how we communicate, how we deal with our friends, our family, our kids, and all these other kind of things. The best thing you can do for everybody in your sphere, in your environment, is to have a focused, clear head. And a lot of times you may not know how to get there. And that's the importance of going to a therapist or a coach or someone that can we always talk about this on this show. It's never going to get old because we all have things. We all have issues. We all have things that we want to deal with, and our judgment gets clouded. So my first question to you, Ursula, is what is your definition of self-care? Like, what does that mean to you? What do you think that it kind of looks like?
Okay, that's a good question. Well, let me start off with how I initially thought self-care was. And anyone who knows me, they know I love going to the gym. So I love working out. I love getting pedicures and massages and just a woosah day. But after therapy and having a life coach, I realized that those were all external factors. So going through the therapy and the life coaching, I started working on the internal self-care. So what it looks like is having self-awareness of what you say, not only to other people, but primarily to what you say to yourself. Mm-hmm. And it negates any of that negative self-talk. And people don't realize that you say a lot of negative things to yourself that you probably wouldn't say to your grandmother or your sweet auntie. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah, that right there, that inside voice could be the best or the worst thing for you, depending on where your mind is. And so, like, for me personally, I would say, I'm trying to think about how old I am. I would say like this is some real for real. So everybody that's listening, please share and invite. This is the realness. I probably did not even think to even look at anything under the umbrella of self-care. And my age starts with a 4, right?
Right.
I haven't even thought about self-care until probably this year.
Ooh, okay.
Seriously. And the reason why is because and we may get into this a little bit more later, but I thought that me being okay was if I make everybody else okay.
Mm.
If I make everybody else okay, I'll be happy. And I lived most of my life that way.
Ooh.
And I always now have to remind myself, and my wife reminds me, like, okay, slow down. Hey, it's time you gotta get it. And it's tough for someone like me because I thought that that's what I needed was the gratification, but I put myself last on the priority list, and that's kind of and it puts you into a state where you just don't. A lot of times that stuff gets too heavy, and you don't even know how to get out of it because you never stopped along the way. So that's my little personal, like this show is important to me too, to even hear how you think about it, because that's the whole point, is to talk it out, talk to people, try to figure out, how you need a better way for you to think, not necessarily how to think, but a better way, because everybody's different. But so you said that your shift started when you started to go to therapy, and my question to you, because as you know, you're normally on the other side, but I want to know, throughout that process of therapy and life coaching, was there a moment, like once you started, that you was like, okay, let's go? Like, what was that? What was that moment like for you? And maybe when did it happen, or what was the catalyst for that?
Got it. Let's see. Well, when I had that aha moment was when my therapist, I hope she's on here. Hey, Pam, if you are on here. But when she was telling me that things that happened in the past, that was then, what do you need to do, say or think to propel you forward? So I heard what she was saying, but it wasn't clicking. And then when I was gifted with a life coach, my life coach, sessions in, she said, Ursula, you navigate your life based on external factors when it has to come from within and your self-validation. And when she said that, combined with what my therapist Pam was telling me all along, boom, life moment shift. Literally, it was, everything came clear. It's just like the blinders came off, and I finally got it. And after that, I've been on momentum forward ever since then.
Right. Yeah, so when you say that, about the whole, getting validation from external forces, I don't care who you are. I don't care how many of you may or may not come on here, but most of us, and I don't have a statistic, this is just my opinion, most of us thrive off of external validation in some way, shape, or form. And that comes from childhood, right? That comes from when you're a little kid and your parents say, good job, and you feel happy. And so it's ingrained in us. But the piece that a lot of us are missing is the self-love and the self-validation of feeling happy within yourself. Like for an example, you may get validated because you just bought a Gucci bag and you like how it feels when people look at you when you're wearing a Gucci bag.
Wow.
And that's what makes you happy. And the inside, this is a hypothetical, because anybody on here that have a Gucci bag, it's no shade. I'm just saying, some people, that's the definition of their character, is the Gucci bag. Right. So when you start to look at the why, right? We always talk about the why. Like, that's why it's, for me, even at this age, I still have to reevaluate things and try to figure out like the why of things. Once you figure out the why, then you can start to heal. But we're so busy that we don't even think about the why because we don't have time.
Exactly. And not only that, when we do have the time, I think it's because we put in external factors to cloud that judgment. And I'm not saying this in a judgment way. I'm just saying this in a I've been there. I know. So you can only sex it so much away. You can only hang. I'm keeping it real. You can only
You're not wrong.
you can drink it so much away. You can party it so much away. You can travel and just go. And it is a good cloud. But in reality, you're just running from here.
Yeah, I've been running that race a long time.
Me too.
Because at the end of the day, it's like this. Like if we really took a step back and looked at our behavior,
yeah,
I can point to alcohol. I can point to a whole bunch of things that I may not necessarily shout from the rooftops or readily admit to anyone, but there's periods where that was the thing that like. A lot of us think that drinking is self-care, right? We think that if we get tipsy, yeah, we go to happy hour when we get tipsy. Then I got to take the low. I had a rough week. Let me get a drink, and I know my life sucks right now, but if I get a drink, I'll feel better. But not an alcoholic, but I just want to take the edge off, right? How many people have said that, right? And so if you look at your behavior, then you can actually pinpoint, like, okay, well, why am I doing that? And like you said, sometimes you need a person that can kind of put those pieces together to say, I hear your story, and this might be why. Take a look at that and stop being full of yourself. Don't let that ego stop, your healing. I'm gonna get to a couple of comments here. Because as you know, I love the engagement. So Maria Rose Walker said,
I love Maria.
No matter where you go, you always have to come back to yourself. Tight, Ursula. And then Latanya Tibbs says, great topic tonight. And she says, well, we have time for what we want to have time for. You must make you a priority, but not when you're on your deathbed. Exactly. Visual users and audio users, I have a small prop here. We're gonna go ahead and just get that. Right? We gonna get that. You know what that telling me? We need to all calm down and get it in. You have to take a moment, well, a lot of moments, but you have to take time to spend time with yourself. That's and just got to get to know you. And like I said earlier in the show, you want to do that for yourself. Mm-hmm. And you also want to do that for the people that you come in contact with. If you go on a date with somebody, if you got a kid, if you got a mama, everybody benefits from that. But most of all, you do.
You know what I equate it to? A tree. Every person is a root and the base of the tree. And as you said, the family members and friends, community, they're all extensions and branches. But the root and the trunk of that tree needs to be strong, firm, healthy, hydrated, with self-love, physical, internal, external. It needs to be strong, because if it's dead, it trickles out. Can I just tell you one thing? You also have to listen to how your body is telling you.
Oh my gosh.
Let me tell you what happened at work.
Right there.
You're right. So I was at work one day, and people who know me know I'm in the dental field. And I knew it was a very toxic situation, a work atmosphere. But you know what? I was comfortable with being uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And that transcended through other relationships. So my boss pissed me off so bad. I knew I should have left probably 5 years prior. And I'm standing, and all of a sudden my eye starts twitching. The side of my right lip starts twitching. I'm feeling dizzy. I had to grab onto the counter because I was about to pass out. Yep. I wasn't taking care of myself emotionally. My body, I was ignoring it. And my body was like, no. Here I am. Listen,
Yeah, I have a horrible relationship with stress and anxiety, and my body reacts to it now way more than it ever has in the past. And I thought I was the one that could just take everything and handle it, and I thought I was doing it successfully. But now it's like as soon as I feel a little bit, I be like, hold on,
That's right.
whoop, I gotta go somewhere. I gotta chill. We're not doing this right now.
Mhm.
To and Latanya Tips says, yes, we think drinking and weed are self-care, and that it been there, done that. But the self-care topic, just so you guys know, right? Once we, because I want to give you a little bit of context here about Ursula. Um, so Ursula, for those of you that are on the show now, um, Ursula is always in the comments giving her insight on different things, and she's engaging and doing all of that kind of stuff. And once we actually became friends on Facebook and had a conversation, and I realized that she's very big on self-care. She's trying to help people, right? I bring people up here because I want people up here that genuinely care about people. But I saw maybe a post or two of hers where she has like a whole space where she kind of has the energy and I think it's like plants and all kind of stuff. And I was like,
balcony, yes.
yeah, and I was like, so she really, really does this. And Latanya Tibbs on here, she does healing work and stuff like that. Actually, she's down where you are. And so she has her spaces too. She has her spaces too. And that's just reminded me of what she does. But when you create that environment where that energy is just right, then you can really release. And so when I saw that, even though I know that you are, coaching and podcasting and all of that, that was the thing that I felt like was the most near to your heart. And that's why I was like, we're doing the show on self-care. Because and I want to say Latanya's been on here talking about it self-care in the past too, but we keep bringing back different themes because we want to make sure y'all get it for real. Especially now, like you got kids at home doing distance learning, and you got all this other stuff. Yeah, you're not driving in traffic and all of that, but you still have stressors. You still have things that are stopping you from taking care of you, right? And I'm gonna raise my hand again. I am the poster child for that. And I'm really, really taking steps to kind of stop myself and really do what I need to do to take care of me. So the next question I have would be people who are kind of in these situations that I'm talking about, maybe you're home, maybe you already just had stuff going on even before COVID. What would be some of the things that some of the reasons why someone would want to start looking at this? I know I talked about a couple things, but what are some things in your experience, like as far as like, I would say like a character profile, like the person who is this way should really start thinking about it, or that way should really start thinking about it? Because I think some of them are on here today. I know for a fact.
If I could see the comments, I could call them out for you. And anyone who knows me knows I will call anybody out on social media. But I won't. I may not do that. You got to tell me who's on. So you're asking me what are the characteristics?
Yeah, like for example, in real time, like there's certain types of people right now that are not taking care of themselves. Like what would that person look like? Like, a mom that has, kids and doing whatever, or just different types of kind of character or people that really, they may not be thinking about it. They doing whatever they got to do. What are some of the types of people that you think really need to, like, everybody does, but who are the most likely candidates?
People who react and not respond because they're not self-aware, and they if you don't know, you don't know. Physically listen to your body, like you said, with the anxiety and your face is twitching, your heart palpitations. not respecting your boundaries. That's not self-care at all. And from what I learned, if you put everyone ahead of you as opposed to yourself, you also go back into that victim mode. And I learned from a wise man named Derek Jones on his podcast. You always said it comes from a place.
Yep. Everything has an origin story. Everything.
Always. So that goes back in my mind to, I don't know, not saying you, but I'm saying in general, some kind of childhood trauma, young adult trauma, somebody who plays small with the imposter syndrome. That's, you need self-care would be beneficial.
And something else that and it should be common knowledge, but it really didn't hit home until I actually looked at the definition of how the relationship between breathing and stress, and how when you are in a stressed or anxiety moment, your body has a reaction that affects your breathing, and that's why you're supposed to kind of take a step back and do the deep breathing to get your body back to a state where it can function better. And we always talk about meditation and breathing exercises, but we really, societally, we really don't understand the why physically. We know that it's, we're supposed to sit there and breathe and do all of that. But most people don't do it, number one. But number two, there's literal reasons why you should be doing it for your mind, for your body, for your spirit. And I never really looked at it that way. Coming from a person who deals with, stress in a certain way,
right?
I thought to breathe. I never thought to do any of that until I think I saw a post on social media about, your when you're stressed, your body has a reaction and it starts to make you breathe a certain way, and you have to kind of, get yourself back centered. And I was like, wow. And it hit me kind of hard because I'm like, most of these things that we need to do to kind of right ourselves, it's not hard stuff. It's a habit. You got to change your habits.
It needs to be as easy as blinking. After a while it will come like that. But when you're talking about the breathing, that's that grounding yourself. Because you're right, the anxiety levels get so high, you got to bring it down.
Yeah. And that's something that I think a lot of us take for granted. Simple things like that. So don't just do the breathing exercises when you're in a stressed moment. Do it when you're at a moment where you're not stressed, so that you can kind of understand the relationship to your body, and it works. I cannot express to you enough how it brings it down. And I keep repeating it because I know that there's someone or some people on here that needs to hear this, because I'm not gonna lie. This distance learning, all of this stuff, you notice I said that 2 or 3 times already, right? All of this stuff, it takes a toll on you. And you gotta really take a step back and just breathe. So that, like I said, not just for you, but for everybody around you. Because I know for a fact there's many households where folks is snapping hard on their kids, and that they mate or even at themselves, and it's crazy. And so we need to get back to
the basics,
and just understanding, once again, this self-care, self-aware, all of this stuff is married to each other. This is all a part of who you are. And if we don't do this, there's physical things that aren't being taken care of. We can talk about how you eat, but how do you think?
That's right.
Right? We don't talk about that. We talk about dieting and exercise, but we never really talk about this. And like I said, I'm still learning right now, in real time, how to step back and do what I need to do for myself.
That's right. Because you know what? The body keeps score.
Yeah. I'm gonna get a couple comments. Latanya Tibbs said you gave us some energy love with that bowl. So thank you. Said, yes, shallow breathing is a thing. Michelle Ford says the breathing helps, but I found that people in the midst of stress and anxiety don't like to be told to just breathe. You're absolutely right. And that's why I said you need to do it when you're not in that crisis or that stress situation so that you will understand this is life lesson about everything. Don't change the habits when you're stressed in a stress situation. Do it when you're not and create a habit so that when something happens, this is a communication. Anything that you deal with in life, once you have the tools, then when a crisis situation comes up, you can go in the toolbox and grab it. And if you got problems with communication, figure out how to communicate when you're not in an argument. Then when you get to the argument, then you have tools to go back to. This is one of the reasons why I created this show. You gotta have the tools before you get to that point where you're like, I don't know what to do. So self-care is one of those tools that you have to have for your life. And if you don't do it, there's so much a part of who you are that goes untapped.
That's right. Ooh. And
that's something that, once again, I'm like, the amount of freedom that you physically feel when you release all of that crap, there's no words for it.
Exactly.
I know Latanya definitely knows because she teaches this stuff to people, and you have to really, you got to take a step back. Like I know we keep saying that, but that's really what it is. And I'm gonna get a couple more comments here. Maria Rhodes Walker says sometimes when someone can't breathe, counting slowly works well too. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can achieve the same goal. You just got to figure out what works best for you.
Exactly.
On this show, there's a million ways to meditate, and all of them don't work for me. I had to find out what worked for me, and the only way you can do that is to try stuff.
Exactly. Some people think that meditation, which you're sitting in the mudra and you're which that works. I recently got into that, and it does work. But people who know me know that I'm also an avid racquetball player. I'm quite good, I might add. But when I am playing racquetball, I'm focused. There's nothing else going on. I'm grounded. That's a part of meditation. Music, whatever kind of music you like. I mean, when you're grounded, go for it. Whatever it takes.
Like, for an example, and no shade to the singing bowl, but this thing, I'm going to hit it one more time. This thing here, I tried it, right? Didn't do nothing for me. I still got it though, and I know that it works for some people. It didn't work for me. My playlist did though.
That's what I was going to ask you. What worked for you?
Yeah, that's what worked for me. I tried it. Like I've said this on a whole bunch of shows. I didn't try the stream water, the crashing water, the waves, the cricket sounds. I tried all of that. It didn't do that. It didn't do that for me. But here's the thing. I knew I needed to do something though, so I didn't give up. I didn't say, "Oh, meditation doesn't work, so I'm just not going to do it." I had to get to a place where I could achieve that calm, and I knew that there had to be something out there. And the music wasn't on the list of things to try.
Really?
But I realized that when I was listening to the music, how calm it made me feel, and how the stress was relieved. And I was like, maybe that's my way. So it happened by accident.
See? So
let me get a couple of these comments. Latanya Tibbs says you have to master giving yourself grace in the process. Michelle Ford says breathing was a lifesaver with my anxiety. I can head off anxiety before it starts now with good deep breathing. Exactly.
Yes, Michelle. Yes.
Latanya Tibbs says sometimes you need to scream or have an ugly cry. That's very true.
I've had that, and it gets very ugly. But you know what? When it's over, that peace and calm that comes from within That's what does it. And it's because I did it, not because I sought for it from someone else. It always has to come here. Other than that, it's just a shell. Has to
And,
come from the soul.
and Michelle Ford says music is one of my go-tos as well. If any of you guys are friends with Michelle Ford, right, her whole timeline is all music that she's listening to and feeling throughout the day. So I know that for an absolute fact. Latanya Tibbs, when I read Latanya Tibbs, that's going to segue into my next question for you. She says, yes, it's many forms of meditation. Nature walks are good. Some people need to do play crashing, detoxing, or kickboxing. So my question to you is, what is your way for yourself? What do you do? Is it one thing? Is it many things?
It's many things, many things. As I said, playing racquetball, that definitely was it. Staying on my balcony that you saw on my social media. I started a garden, and I never realized how zoned in I get when I garden right on my balcony. Taking a walk. One of my good friends, Tanya, has this cute little puppy. I'll take walks with the dog. That I'm grounded, that I feel good. It makes me happy. And I also have accountability partners / friends. That is good self-care. And sometimes they tell you things you don't want to hear, but it's for self-care. And you have to be humble to accept what they're saying.
Yeah.
What else do I like to? Oh, I'm a jewelry designer, so I create jewelry that grounds me. And I also have a good playlist, and I have my jazz, but I'm an old school hip hop head, as you know.
Right.
That's me too.
See, the hip hop is cool when I want to vibe out to it, but when I want to relax, it's the old school R&B that does it for me. I need
what?
My soul, huh?
Like what? Like what genre?
Like Confunction.
Oh, okay.
SOS Band. That's my. I'm dating myself, but that's the type of stuff I like to live in, like 90s R&B groups too. But that's like where I live, like that 80s, 90s. If you give me that, I'm good. I'm good.
I'm only 25. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right. Me too. and jazz too. Jazz is, I way back in the day when I was a young lad, I used to play the saxophone. So I have like a relationship with music, period. But I do enjoy jazz. Jazz isn't the highest thing on my playlist because, like I said, I love that R&B, and maybe that's why I'm a relationship coach. I like to love music. I like all that kind of stuff. I like that stuff. That's the lyrics and all of that. I love that stuff, and that just gets me like in a place of like calm.
Right.
That's my go-to. And it. So when you do that, when you do all of those things, what are some of the benefits that you've seen once you started to figure out what those things were? Like, for an example, did your relationships with people improve? Did other things start to happen for you in your life that may not have happened because you were blocked up here? Those kind of things. Were there any things that you can kind of point out where the benefit of you taking care of yourself mentally, physically, and all of that stuff has benefited you?
Let's see. Physically, I already had that down pat. I mean, I know what I need to do to to lose weight, gain muscle, but mine was more of the internal work. So I became a more joyous person. I have a lot more patience. My fuse is a lot longer. Anyone who knows me, it's a lot longer. And I was already a confident person, but my self-confidence is just skyrocketed. And I got rid of some old habits and like the being consistently inconsistent. I had to work on that. That was part of self-care as well. And I talk better to myself.
Yeah.
I always talk good to myself, but that's another thing. people, including myself, people are good being good.
Mm-hmm.
So why not be great?
Yeah.
Right? Why not take it to the next level? So I talk to myself so loving. So that's how it has helped me. And let me give you an example. I'm gonna tell you my morning routine.
Okay, let's go.
So I wake up in the morning. Let me tell you what I used to do. Can I cuss on here?
You can cuss, just make sure that it fits within a sentence. It can't be like the whole sentence.
Okay. So I will wake up in the morning, and there used to be this bird that used to chirp. And I'm a night person. I'm not a morning person. And the bird used to wake me up before my alarm clock. I wake up like shit. And I'm pissed off for the rest of the day. Like that's how it started.
Mm-hmm.
After the self-care, I wake up and I welcome hearing that bird because I always think, thank God, thank you, Jesus, that you let me live another day where I can hear this bird. And then the immediate next thing, if I don't hear that bird at 4:30 in the morning, without a day that goes by, I always ask every morning, God, what do you want me to do today? How do you want me to be of service and a conduit for you today? I want to be the best ambassador for you.
Right.
That sets the tone for my whole day. It makes me joyous. And I get that joy from inside, from within, internal. I don't let what goes on at work with people. Don't get me wrong, I get upset now, but my bounce back is strong as hell. I don't marinate in it and stay in it like I used to.
Yeah,
that victim mentality.
Yeah, mindfulness is something that I took for granted too for a long time, and really understanding what that truly means and being thankful and just kind of seeing the positive in things that's in your surroundings. That plays a very big part in how we react to the world around us and how we even think for ourselves. And that is, once again, that's another term, and that's another thing that I really had to embrace later in my, in my life. Like I never thought about, I was just going. I didn't care about the trees and the grass and all this other, who cares? Let me go get that. Let me go to happy hour. I mean, what? The grass. Somebody go cut that. I'm good. Like, you don't appreciate that stuff, a lot of us, because we have other things that we feel like are the drivers for us. And when we talk about self-care, those things that we think are self-care aren't really helping us push in a forward direction. Like I like to have a drink every now and then, but when the drink becomes your self-care, now you have to really think about why. Why do I need this in order for me to feel happy? Like that's huge. I needed that to make me feel happy for a while. And I was just like, wait a minute, what are you doing? Like, like, it's one thing to take a drink. It's another thing to pass out. Like what are you doing this? What's the point? and when you really sit back and say, what am I doing? You have to sit back and say, what am I doing about a lot of stuff in your life? And if you don't do that, you're going to repeat the behavior. And you're not really going to notice what's going on around you. That could be your kids. It could be your husband, your wife, your boyfriend. You don't even really get to infuse yourself into those relationships when you are using these other things to kind of get you where you need to go. And I think there's a lot of us. I keep saying this because I feel like there's got to be like 3 people on here that's like hitting the desk like, yes, that's me. I know you guys are out there.
If you're out there, I need you all to type in there like, it's me.
Yeah, put a hand in the comments if I'm talking about you, because I used to be one of them. So you will go to happy hour, and a lot of you know this, and it's everybody's in there. And when you talk to somebody, they be like, man, my work day, I need to get effed up tonight because I had a bad day at work. And I'm like, so you just don't want to taste. You want to be like, can't drive home. Yeah. Like there's a problem. There's a problem. And I know how that feels. Like that when you don't know how to make yourself happy, you rely on these other things.
Yes, exactly. And all those things are external
things. Yeah. And once you, like you said, that was your epiphany of realizing that those were all external things. And once you put those pieces together, then you can say, okay, if I take those away, who am I?
Exactly. You know what?
Like this is the question of the year and the next year and the next year. Who are you?
Yeah.
That's a hard question to ask. A lot of us to ask ourselves.
May I add on to that? That's actually a great segue. As a matter of fact, my 2 podcasts from now, that's going to be the topic. Who am I? Really is the self-affirmations of what you say to yourself. Not what you hear people tell you, but what you truly believe what you say to yourself. So, which came with the acronym of SHIFT. And I wrote down that page you just showed. There were a few more things that I wanted to add on there. May I add?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have SHIFT. So Black girls getting their shift together. So the S, be self-aware. I wrote down a couple of notes because I was in a zone.
Go for it.
You want to be self-aware of how you talk to yourself as well as you talk to other people, right? That's self-care. It's okay to be selfish, meaning no is a complete sentence, period. You want to be sexy because you feel it, not because your man or your partner told you, but feel it within. You want to shine bright. All of this comes from within. Self-assured, strength. The H is humble, meaning somebody tells you, like, look, Urs, you are doing X, Y, Z. Don't come with the defensive block. Be humble and listen to what they're saying. Okay? Happy, humorous. Because when you go through therapy or just in life or life coaching, it's ugly. But the other side of it is so beautiful and so worth it. The I is intuitive. You want to illuminate and have integrity. So with the intuitive, listen to your mind. If that man or woman is no good and they showing you the red blankets, not the flags, but you ignore your intuition. Use your intuition. The F, you want to be forward thinking. Try not to go in the past. If you have to go, you may want to talk to someone, counselor, therapist. You want to be fierce. And T, you want to be tenacious and truthful to yourself. Don't lie to yourself, people. It doesn't help because you're just doing that, lying to yourself. And most of all, the T, the last T, which is very important for me, people who, if you had childhood trauma or just living in a mode of survival, the last T is to thrive. You want to thrive. Go from being a survivor to a thriver. That will propel you and it just catapult you to the next level from good to being great.
That I love it. I love all of it. And guys, we're gonna wrap up here in a minute, but Black girls getting their shift together. Make sure you guys like that page on Facebook.
Please do it.
We're actually streaming live on her page directly. It's one of our streaming destinations tonight. So anybody that's listening from her page, hi y'all. So so when I say we, because everybody here is family, love what you're doing.
Thank
with
you.
This. And definitely, we talk about Black men a lot, and Black women really, really need to have, persons in their corner to kind of talk about these things. And that's kind of one of the things that you're doing. There's a lot of people that do it, but everybody's not you. They don't have that's why I always tell people about even my show. And I talked to you about this earlier. I always bring coaches on here because everybody's different. And the people who need the help they may not like my flavor. They may like yours.
Right.
So this is all, we're all connected here. So please go follow that page. She does her, what day do you do yours on?
On Thursdays.
Thursdays.
I had to readjust it because I never wanted to miss your podcast Wednesday at 8. I literally did. I shifted it. I was like, no, Wednesdays are off just cannot. So yeah, it's Thursdays, every Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Cool. So guys, make sure you follow that page and you'll get the notifications to follow her. She has a lot of great guests. She has a lot of great insight. And this is how, and I want to speak about this before we wrap up. You guys need to understand, and I talk about this all the time. You see Ursula here. You see the people that I've had over the past few weeks, and even, from the beginning of the show. We're here to connect to each other, guys. Mm-hmm. I'm saying this because there's somebody on here that needs to hear this. We need to connect to each other. So here's a little 10-second snippet of how even I talk about Ursula being a supporter of the show and being in the comments, but Ursula found me from someone else's podcast.
Yes, Celeste.
So Celeste, the therapist, who's been on the show a couple times, you really got to think about helping each other, linking arms with each other, networking with each other. We don't want to ever lose that. This social media thing is a gift and a curse and all of it. We got to get it together, because if we do not support each other, then we lose. Nobody does it by themselves.
Nope.
And so that's why I'm imploring you to go check her page out. I want you to check my page out. Check everybody's page. Everybody, if you got, let's do this. The first time I ever did this. You got something to push, put it in the comments. We about to get it in. We about to get it in. Put it in the comments. Put your website, whatever you got in there. I'm not going to shout everybody out because this Ursula show, but put it in the comments and people can find you. How about that? I've never done that before.
I love it. May I say one more thing? Oh, yeah. Go ahead. I feel like I look at you as a stone, and everybody else should look at themselves as a stone. And you imagine if you throw a stone in a pond, and what happens? The waves go out. So, right. Celeste, she was awesome. I heard you were part of that wave. You see how the wave keeps going on, exactly. And on and on. So everybody, be that stone where you can affect other people. I mean, in a positive way. It's just about how you navigate. And I believe if you know that your actions do have consequences, which are good or bad, but we'll concentrate on the good part. Look how that's how you and I connected.
Right. Yeah. And I'm gonna get a couple comments, then we're gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna let you have the last words, and then we're gonna get out of here. Because I can't keep doing 2-hour shows every week, guys. Much as I love y'all. And I know everybody's like, it didn't feel like 2 hours. When we get off of here, it does. So but if I have shows that go that long, I'm here for it. But I cannot do it.
That show with Tony that was 2 hours was so good.
Both of those last 2 shows was 2 hours plus. So Michelle Ford says she just went and liked your page.
Thank you, Michelle.
I don't even want to mess this name. I don't need a city on a hill cannot be hidden. I got it. I was looking at this thing the whole time. They say you're responsible for your own happiness.
That's right.
Maya Avery, another friend to the show. She was on the show last week. Another Ripple, right? Good. She says, why? We struggle for a sense of personal growth or personal worth. Drinking, bad decisions are orders outlet for hostile feelings. This behavior called splitting a defense mechanism to make us feel good about making bad decisions. Yes, amen, 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 and another amen. Those bad decisions stay with you. Yeah. I'm going to just leave it there. The Tanya Tiff says, yes, connection is important. Maya Avery says, building unity and support of each other. LaTanya says, yes, especially for such a time as this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just let people put down their stuff. Michelle Ford, put your link to your business in the comments. Michelle Ford has a T-shirt line that just started. Everybody got some, like, let's do this. I see it on social media a lot, and I also see on social media a lot of people trying to connect, but it never, like, they'll put their stuff, but nobody ever goes there. Let's support each other. I see it a lot. Like, it's some groups I'm in, and they're like, yeah, we got 10,000 people, and nobody ever likes or goes through or comments on anything. And I'm like, well, what's the point?
None.
So Joan Rose says, my daughter's page is self-formation. That's what it looks like. So and Tanya Tibbs, she's a spiritual vagina healer, manifestation coach, www.healmyvagina.com. So we got, like, write it down. Like, people out here doing some amazing things. And I'm gonna tell you, before I give you the last word, let me tell you this. And this is coming from a place, right? We, for me, I did not have the connective tissue with all of the people that support me the way that I do now until I was able to achieve a point of peace and focus and clarity. And once I did that, that energy attracted like energy. And then people just randomly, I would just like see or meet or connect with people that tend to have the same kind of, the same kind of flow. And I was like, I've been asking for this for years. And now it's like boom, 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 boom. Like, you guys know who've watched my show since the beginning. A lot of the shows I've been on here solo. These people that I'm having here coming on as guests, this is not because I'm just like, let me find another person. These people are just this happenstance. And everybody that I'm meeting is like, boom, yep, you need to be on the show. Yep, you need to be on the show too. Everybody's strong. And I love all of y'all for that. I appreciate everybody from coming in. It's people that's coming in here every week faithfully. You're one of them.
Thank you.
What? And the reason why I feel so passionate about this is because I'm not like the inside of, I'm an introvert.
No.
So people coming back to see me every week. Like, it's amazing. But I know, like, I know my purpose is to help people. And I know that's your purpose. I know that's LaTonya's purpose. Michelle Ford goes live every day. She doesn't even necessarily have a platform for her live, but she goes live to talk to people every day. And these people, this energy, this connective tissue, like, y'all go like each other's pages. Like, let's do this for real. Let's build it. The community might not be in your neighborhood, but let's build a community.
Love it.
I'm off my soapbox. I'm gonna let you have some last words about what you think, kind of where people's minds need to be, talk about self-care, and then talk about your podcast one more time, and we're going to get out of here.
Okay. So like you said earlier, like I said, that my podcast, Black Girls Getting Their Shift Together, you can go on any, just Google it. It will come up. And I'm on all social media, Black Girls Getting Their Shift Together. I have a YouTube page as well. And if you want, merch is coming out soon.
That's right.
Merch.
Get that merch in.
Gotta get the merch. And
Travis Dickerson says, "Who made your shirts?" I don't know who made yours. I know mine. This
Travis. V&V Print. They made the shirt. He's based in Atlanta. Him and his brother. It's a Black-owned business. And I trust Travis. Travis and I used to be in a kickball league. So that's how we worked at the Atlanta Falcons Stadium together. Like business.
Cool.
Good looking out, Travis. But the last thing I would say is for people to do the self-work and the self-care, because you know what, treat your life like a phone. You know, when people get new phones, they have the owner's manual and they get it. Who reads it? And you just get by with getting by. But you don't realize all the features that are on the phone, right?
Right.
So the best thing to do is just to keep referring back to that owner's manual so that you're not in a state of lack but abundance, right?
Right.
So just like you said, practicing having those skills, it's already ingrained and it's etched in your DNA, so that you're not rushing around at the last minute when something's going on and something traumatic and drastic. You're already there in the headspace and you have the tools. Not only you have the tools, but you use the tools in your toolbox. So the extremely last word is to make sure and navigate with abundance, so that you're not navigating with an attitude of lack.
That's amazing. Thank you. And we're gonna be looking at your show on Thursday. Everybody come back here next week. Make sure you go to www.relationshipgumbo.net. I'm gonna next week, guys. Make sure you come back. I'm changing up everything. I'm changing the look. I'm changing the video. Everything's being restructured because we going in Q4 with a bang. We about to get it in. Everybody who is within earshot of this, do you and do it the best way you can. Get it in. You running a business. You trying to be a good mama, a good daddy. All just do the best you can and try to evolve into something greater than what you are today.
And don't do it alone. We are a family. Each person is. You think of each person as a link, and you link upon a link upon a link, and then you have a dope ass herringbone strong chain or whatever is out now. I don't know, but you can't have a chain with one link.
That's absolutely true. Like half of this show, I'm a proponent of us connecting to each other. So we'll see Ursula again in one way or another. And we're gonna wrap this podcast part up. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you check out all the information. All of Ursula's information will also be in the show notes for the actual podcast. So when the audio comes out, you can go there and click on her links and get to contacting her. And everybody who has posted a link of what they do, go follow them. Follow them, like their page. These are good people. Like people, the irony of this show is that the majority of the people that come on here and that comment, these people are like, they got heart. Like they love people. They want to do better. They want to get better. And I appreciate you guys for that. Ursula's one of those people, right? So it's amazing. That energy attracts energy. So come back next week. Go to Ursula's show every Thursday at 8 p.m. Go follow her page. Black Girls Getting Their Ship Together. We're going to get out of here. Thank you. And we will see you next week. Stand by. All right. The audio portion is over. We are definitely not doing no after questions today. So you guys enjoy. Thank you for coming. Let me see if there's any last comments. Michelle Ford says, thank you too. Great show. Latanya Tibbs says, great show. Monroe says, love this. Michelle Ford, her new t-shirt line, that MFT, to play on her initials. Michelle Ford.
Love it.
www.thatmft.com. So check those comments. Come back to the comments tomorrow and see if there's anybody else that has posted something. Keep posting, guys. And let's get it in. Let's help each other.
That's right.
And I'll see you next week. So we're gonna get out of here, and you guys take care and stay safe out there.
Oh, one more thing.
Go ahead.
I'll announce it on this show as far as the coaching. Everyone, I'm becoming a life coach in the world.
See what I'm saying? Purpose. Get it in. You built for it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
I'm gonna try to connect you and Latanya Tibbs too, because y'all are in the same area, and I think I'm a good judge. I think y'all may have some like energy. So cause y'all both don't hold y'all tongue. So y'all should definitely connect, but we'll do that later. But anyway, guys, we'll see you next week, and enjoy and be safe.
Okay, everybody wants good love, that's true, I know. Derrick Jones about to break it down with the relationship gumbo. Welcome to the podcast. Ain't no doubt we all need this, cause better relationships need better ingredients, so if you want better relations. It's about communication, finding love, staying together. We all wanna make it better. Yeah, Derrick Jones, the host, your relationship coach. Thank you all for tuning in. Relationship Gumbo.